Welcome to our video series on eBook Secrets Revealed. In this video, we'll explore ways to easily create ebooks from web pages. In this video, I'm going to be talking you through some ways you can very easily create very usable and good-looking ebooks very easily, even if you aren't particularly familiar with creating web pages. Okay, in this video I'll be focusing on the .exe style of ebook, the .exe style of ebook, which stands for executable, which basically means it acts like software. You double-click it, and it opens up. And this style of ebook is effectively a website bundled together. And the reason I say that is because it's simply a series of web pages, and they're all bundled together. For example, as you can see, links, and these links simply go to another page. Okay, and each of these pages, as you can see, each of the pages of the ebook are simply web pages. They just happen to be delivered in ebook format. And as you can see in this demonstration of an ebook I put together, there's even video within the ebook, and I'll detail that in a later video. Okay, so the formatting I use, which works well, but it's very simple to replicate, is simply a table. Okay, there's a background. There's a table with a white background. And within the table is the main content, as you can see, formatted into the table helps keep it all in a single column. It doesn't allow the content to go too wide. When text sometimes goes all the way across the screen, it can be a little tricky to read. So that's why I tend to use tables. And then there's a table of contents at the bottom of each page. Okay, there's 14 pages to this ebook. And then there's an extra help page, and there's a home page. Okay, so what I generally do is an intro page, as you can see. Here's an introductory page, and at the bottom of the intro page there's the table of contents, and then I just have a page for each segment of the ebook. And in this instance, I have 14 videos. And each page plays a separate video. So there are 14 pages for that, and then, as already mentioned, there's a help page. So then in total, with the 14 videos and the help page and the front page, that's 16 pages that make up this ebook. I'm going to be doing these demonstrations using Macromedia Dreamweaver, and last time I checked, you can get a 30-day free trial. And actually, Dreamweaver is now owned by, Macromedia is now owned by Adobe. So if you go to adobe.com, you can check out a trial there. It's not the most inexpensive of software, but it's very powerful. However, I'm just going to be talking you through basic web page concepts, so you can replicate them just as well in Front Page if you have Front Page, or whatever editor you use. Actually, a couple of free editors, good free editors, you can search for Mozilla Composer. Let's see if that takes us to the right page. Mozilla Composer is, they authored, the Mozilla organization or foundation or whatever it's called, all their software is free, of course, and they created Firefox, which is what I'm browsing in, and they create other software as well. To get Mozilla Composer, which is their web page editor, their web page creator and web page editor, you need to download the Mozilla suite. And by downloading it, you get a lot of stuff you might not want. You get email, you get a web browser, and other stuff. But specifically, you get Composer. So that's well worth downloading. And Composer works really well for free software. Okay, I've gone back to Google and I've searched NVU. I don't know how it's pronounced, to be honest, but there's software called NVU, and it's another free software. I haven't used it myself, but it's been recommended to me, and it's another free software for creating web pages. So that might be another good option for you. Okay, as mentioned, the concepts I'm going to be talking you through are standard web page concepts. So even though your software might be different than my software, you should be able to transfer the concepts I'm doing in Dreamweaver fairly easily to other software. Now, going back to Dreamweaver, first of all, okay, let's open up my eBook folder, and these are the pages that make up my eBook. I have a project file, and that may be different depending on what you use to create your eBooks. And actually, just before I move on, I should mention that quickly. I personally use compiler.com. It's not the most easy to use software, but once you get the hang of it, I find it works very well, and it's very inexpensive. It's only about $30 the last time I checked, but there's plenty of eBook compiler software on the market and in all price ranges. Okay, so that's the project file. These are the compiled eBooks. There's the eBook, and there's a branding tool for customizing the affiliate links. Okay, there's an eCover graphic, the eCover graphic which appears within the eBook. That's the video controller file, which I'll talk you through in a later video. But here are the .html files. They're what make up the bulk of the eBook. So the index file is the front page. I have a file named Help, which is the help page, and then 1 through 14 are the pages which display the video. For example, if I drag 05.html into the web browser, let's OK that. And OK, it appears that for security reasons, the video doesn't appear when I view it in the web browser, when I view the page in the web browser. However, you can see the structure is exactly the same, or the layout is exactly the same. Okay, now I'm going to drag that file into Dreamweaver, and it's very basic, a very basic design. Dark blue background to the page, and in Dreamweaver you can go Modify Page Properties. And there's the background, text is black, and that's all I've set as the page-wide settings. Okay, a promotional link at the top, a horizontal rule here, and the headline of the page in larger red font, and there's the object, which is the video. Okay, more promotional details, and the table of contents. Very standard design, just a numbered list, and then clickable links. So very straightforward. So now I'm going to talk you through how to create one of these pages, one of this style of pages, and this style of eBook. So first of all, I need to create a new document. So File, New, and Basic Page, HTML, and that's fine. Create. And when choosing those options, if we go to Code View rather than Design View, Dreamweaver does add some of the basic HTML that creates the outline of a document. If you go to Code View, you can change as much as you wish. However, I'll be doing this demonstration in Design View. So first of all, let's give this page a title. And the title, of course, let's see an example. I've gone to Google, and here's where the title appears, in the title bar of the browser. However, going back to Dreamweaver, in an eBook, the title doesn't normally display, so it doesn't really matter. However, let's just give it a title. Let's call it Demo Page 1. Okay, and then I choose the page-wide settings. So Modify Page Properties, Default Font. Let's go for Arial. Size 14, text black, background color. Okay, let's go with dark blue. That should do it. So, okay that. And now I need to insert table. Okay, 1 row, 1 column, 600 pixels is usually okay. I would go to a maximum of 800 if you choose, so let's go with 700 pixels wide. Border thickness, let's say 1 pixel. Cell padding at 10. Cell padding is how big the gap is between effectively between the edge of the table and the text. It's a little bit more involved than that, but that's basically it. Okay that, and that's our table. However, it's transparent at the moment, so click, hold, and drag to select. And here are the property settings. So I'm going to align it in the center. And let's give it a background color of white. Okay, and border color, black. So we've started creating our page. Now, I'm not going to talk through every single aspect of Dreamweaver, of course. I'm just going to talk through the main features for creating such an ebook page. So let's quickly go through this. Headline of page, and let's say body. Actually, what I should demonstrate is press Enter there to add a space, and let's say, here is my first advert, or let's say my first affiliate link. Select that and center it. Link text is, just in this instance, www.google.com. Okay, and below that, enter again, insert HTML horizontal rule, which creates a line, a straight line. To select it, just click it once. Width. If I don't select a width in pixels, it goes as wide as it can. And you see that the gap between the line and the edge of the table is the cell padding. Let's click it again, and let's say height 1 pixel. Okay. Let's press delete to bring that back up. So headline of page, click, hold, and drag to select. Size is, let's say, 24 pixels. Bold. And let's make it red. Okay, body text, audio, video goes here. And then there's a table of contents. So table or contents or however you wish to title it. And I just created a numbered list, or you can create a bulleted list, or an ordered list as they're called, or rather an unordered list. A bulleted list would just be like that, of course. If I select that, I should be able to change it to an ordered list. Yes. So let's say link to page 2, link to page 3, and so on. And again, okay, let's press Enter again to get rid of the empty number. And now we can add another ad at the bottom if we wish, or whatever you choose. You know, usually I would say it makes the most sense to have the table of contents as pretty much the last thing at the bottom of each page. And actually, one thing I did neglect, just below the headline, or just after the headline, I usually have a home link. And then do something like space hyphen space, or space vertical line, whatever they're called, and the space. So home, and then table of contents. Select that, center it, select the home link, and that goes to the home page, which is generally index.html. OK. And then create a link for the table of contents. All this link does is jump down to the table of contents, which of course is only really needed if you have a page that fills more than the height of the screen. And what I have here is, OK, place the cursor there, just above the table of contents, insert named anchor, and let's just call it TOC. So it creates an anchor there, a named anchor. That gives you a spot to jump to. So then, if I select the table of contents text and the link, we're not going off the page, we're jumping down to that anchor. So you use the, well, I know it is the hash symbol, but I think it's also known as the pound sign. So whatever you call that, and then the name of the anchor. So TOC. So in my case, it's hash symbol and then TOC. And that should jump down to this location. And actually, really to demonstrate it, I'm going to add more text. So select that, right-click Copy. Let's just press Enter, and Control-V to paste a few more times so we actually have a screen full of text. Okay, that will do. And lastly, the table of contents. Actually, it really would make sense to have number 1 linked to page 1. That would make more sense for the demonstration. Link to page 2, and select the text, and it just goes to the web page, whatever you call it. So let's call it page2.html. Obviously, I haven't created that page, but basically, the link, this is standard. This is the standard way to create a clickable link. When you're going to that page, you link to it with a page name. And going back to the eBook folder, I have everything in one folder, so I don't need to have any subfolders. I don't need to have folder /, for example, as the path. I just need the file name, because it's all within one folder. And then I need to press Enter to make sure those changes take effect. So now, if I click on that, you can see there's the page2.html link. Excuse me, that should be page 1, shouldn't it? Page 1 should go to page1.html. And link to page 2, select that. Just select the text, nothing else. That should go to page2.html. Okay, press Enter, and there we go. So now, let's save this. File, Save. I'm going to save it to my desktop and just call it the home page, so index.html. And now what I'm going to do is File, Save As, and create an exact duplicate of it called page1.html, just so we can test this out. And I'm going to change the headline on this page1.html. I'm going to change it to This is Page 1. Okay, so let's save that change. And now we can quickly test that out. In a later video, I'll talk you through how to compile all this into an actual ebook. But really, that will be quite different depending on which ebook software you have. And your ebook software should have full documentation and full support on how to do that. But I'll give you a quick demo later anyway. However, let's just quickly test these web pages. Okay, I've gone to the desktop, and there's the index.html, the front page, and there's page1.html, so let's click the front page. And there it is. You can see how it looks. And I would strongly suggest whenever you create any sort of web page, you test it in, actually it's not really necessary when you're creating web pages for ebooks, but it doesn't do any harm to test your web pages in Firefox and in Internet Explorer. Just so, you know, some web page creators do have funny quirks, so pages that look fine in Internet Explorer look odd in Firefox. And it's not that difficult to fix issues if it looks different, if your pages look different in each browser. So it's worth testing each of those browsers. So there we go, and that's how it looks. Table of contents. Well, home just goes back to home, but since home goes to index.html, which is this very page, that obviously is a superfluous link. There's no need to have a home link on the front page. But anyway, that's the table of contents link, which jumps down to the table of contents. So link to page 1 should go to page... Okay, let's see if this works. And it goes to page1.html. And there's our headline. So that's really how I put together my eBooks. A very simple design that works well, that's usable, and I feel it looks pretty professional. And it's very clear for people on how to use it. But as you can see, it's not that difficult to put together. You can create it in any web page editor, and then it's simply a matter of testing all the links and making sure they work, and it looks the way you want it to look, and then bundling it together into an ebook to deliver to your visitors or your customers.